Mumbai Indians, Pandya and his boys, because that will tell us that they have a tough first 5 games. We also know that they've not been having the best of form, if I had to say, in the last couple of seasons, because it's not Mumbai Indians-esque, but nevertheless, they have a lot to, of course, celebrate about. I mean, generally, not this graphic, because it shows that they finished 10th, but if you look at even their IPL record since 2022, they've lost 27 out of those 43 games. So it's obviously been tough at the Wankhede, and Hardik Pandya did get booed last year, but this year I think he's going to get all the backing from the 12th man of the MI Pulton. Right, let's get straight into it, boys, with the MI group. And Akshay, batting and bowling, they seem all right. Batting's always been their power. You look at some of the names, even right now in their top 7, it gives a lot of oppositions nightmares. So let's start with their batting depth, Akshay, and talk to me about where do you think they can really pack a punch with this set of names in their batting roster?
Yeah, I mean, set of names ke liye, yeah, there we go. They have fantastic options. Yeah, on paper, I don't think anyone's ever doubted the kind of players they've had. It's just, the coming together of this setup of these players. Would that work for them or not? That's where they have to look at. Or else their top order was settled even before, the Hardik Pandya, Tilak Verma, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rohit Sharma, 4 household names, so to say, that were going to feature in that top 6. They've also managed to add the likes of Will Jacks, Ryan Rickelton, both of whom can open alongside Rohit Sharma, both of whom could potentially be a lot more consistent than their previous opener, Ishan Kishan. So that's something that's going well for them. Apart from that, youngsters, young names in KL Srijat, they've also got someone like Robin Mins, add the likes of Namandhir, who didn't do too badly at all last year. They're doing not too. They don't look too bad. Mitchell Santner, I think, would be someone to watch out for. Was a part of the CSK setup for like 8 seasons, if I'm not wrong, 7 or 8 seasons, and unfortunately played no more than 20, 30 games. That's where I think him consistently featuring for MI at the Wankhede could be a game changer for them. But yeah, in terms of batting, the kind of names they have, and also importantly, just look at the all-round options. Their top 6 would have at least 2 bowling options, and if Mitchell Santner bats at number 7, that means 3 bowling options in your top 7. That's not too bad at all. And Will Jacks, Mitchell Santner, Hardik Pandya, all 3 would contribute in different, departments of the bowling attack. So that also means they have variety in their top 7 alone. And then they've got left-handers in Robin Mins, Tilak Verma, potentially even Ryan Rickelton if they go to that. So nice balance there. That's really working well for them. But can they come good? That's the answer. And that's a question we're all looking answers for.
Yeah, we know that Bumrah is going to be a big miss in terms of their bowling arsenal, which we'll show in a bit. But just to finish off the batting chat with you, Akshay, with regards to some of the names you mentioned there, even if you go back to that graphic and see that they have a lack of finishers in some ways, just Hardik Pandya and Corbin Bosch that you've added there in this depth chart. Would you rather have Rickelton or Jacks? Is that an easy choice for them to make because the lack of keepers as well? So again, for the viewers and my understanding, what is your top 6 that you think MI will start with?
I would start with Rickelton, to be honest. Or else, no, wait, sorry, just to be clear, no, I've started with Will Jacks, not Rickelton, because I have Robin Mins as part of the top 7, so keeping ka already sort ho chuka hai wahan pe. Robin Mins is someone I'm looking forward to, especially after what I saw from the MI training sessions and everything. Clearly, MI liked a lot of what they saw of him. He was a part of their touring camp, the group that went to UK in 2022, 2023. And then on top of that, last year also, they were the losing bidders. So they clearly were, wanting to get hold of him. And this time around, they have gotten hold of him. They also have a slot vacant over there. They need a keeper, someone who can bat aggressively. So Robin Mins starts for me ahead of Ryan Rickelton for the keeping slot and Will Jacks for the opening slot. Also because Will Jacks ka wo off spin bhi aa jata hai, they don't have any other off spinner, so to say. Mujib Rahman is there, of course, but I wouldn't consider him to be an off spinner, because he adds those variations. Ek matchup option ke liye bhi you can use Will Jacks, so I've started with him.
Yeah, if you have Rohit Sharma, Tilak Verma, Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya in your top 6 in any team, you think that team will do well. Let's get Nikhil's thoughts about MI, because as a CSK fan, Nikhil, you're facing MI first, and maybe because history goes against them in terms of their opening games of IPL, you're safe from a CSK perspective. But how are the other teams going to be looking at MI as an opponent? do you think that they are going to be coming back with much more of, I don't know, laying down the gauntlet like past Mumbai teams have?
Hey, firstly, I don't think anybody thinks of MI from any other lens. They've always been a very strong team. Even at their lowest, you felt they've pushed a lot of punches. So
Mm.
what happened last year is something that can happen to any team, and that is a good sign for everybody in the franchise future that you can have the best of the teams, and you see what happened with them in SA20.
Yeah.
For a few years, they had the people, they could not do it, and look what they did this time around. So I think that's a lesson that they have also learned. I think the batting is sorting itself. I know if I'm talking specifically, at least for the first game, maybe no Hardik Pandya is something that Chennai would look at, but there is a larger venue question that's there for Chennai to keep in mind. So I'll park that at the side. I think for Mumbai in general, this should be a homecoming. This should be the actual homecoming that they thought would happen last year. So I think the batting is still very, very well covered. It's the bowling that I feel where they could be caught up because there is that massive question mark over how many games will Jasprit play. I mean, we've all seen that graphic about Jasprit Bumrah and others. There are levels to it, and those levels are massively different. So I think they've done a great job of firstly getting back Trent Bolt because I think that was a checklist that was missing. They've tried plenty of other left arm pacers, hasn't worked out. But Bolt is now back home. So I think that's a good thing for them. But I think how do they find a way to fill that massive hole that Jasprit Bumrah will leave will decide how long they hold this tournament.
Absolutely. That's the elephant which needs to be addressed in the room when you talk about MI, IPL 2025. And you, again, bang on in terms of how MI can shuffle their cards in terms of the bowling names that they have. We'll show that in the depth chart right now. And it just goes to show, Nikhil, that we know the top six in terms of the batting. But can you now tell me who their certain four bowlers are? You mentioned Bolt there. There's probably Deepak Chair if he's injury fit. There's Santner there as well. Do you know your 4-5 names apart from Bumrah who could start for MI this year? Looking at these names.
So again, as you said, I think Bolt definitely starts with Deepak Chair. Their power play is sorted, in my all opinion. I think that they should not have a problem in the power play, but it is what you do in the middle overs with Santner, who is for sure most likely to play all 14 games. So I think it's in the middle overs that they'll have to find a way that how do we use Hardik here, because at the back end, even with Bumrah, you'll have to find another end, right? You'll have to find somebody to partner him at the back end. And we've seen with Bolt, he's often finished off in terms of Bolt three up top. That's the same. That is something that happens with Deepak Chair. He also bowls three up top. So you're not going to use them in the 15, 16. So I think that is where I'm looking at potential of our domestic options being coming in. I'm hoping that Ashwini Kumar gets a few games, left arm pacer, an option there. I've seen a lot of videos of Satyanarayan Raju. I don't know how he will eventually go. I don't think they can take up with an overseas spot with Corbin Posh. So I think the four names are there. That is clear that yes, there is Deepak, there is Bolt, there is Samuel, there is Hardik. But what after that? How do you factor in that fifth and sixth option? Because if you play Jack, no comments. I'm not going to comment on Mujib. He's going to play at Wankhede. Do not feel that short fine leg. You know, if you know, you know. I'm not saying anything else for that, but I'm mentally scarred for life by that. And the thing with Mujib also, if you play Jacks, take it, you can use it from option, but nobody's going to be scared of it. So Santner ko bhi you can play out. So I think the challenge for Mumbai will lie in the bowling attack after the power play, especially on good batting decks. Because if there is no swing, actually, even in the power play, they might tend to have a few of this. So I think plenty to ponder for them. They have a lot of options. There is Ashwini Kumar, Satyanarayan Raju, plenty of options, and they have unearthed some great gems. But remember, Akash Madhwal came because Bumrah was not there. So they have in the past shown how good their scouting is. So let's see who is that option this year.
Okay, one question before we get our predictions unveiled for the viewers watching this about Mumbai Indians is who are the four foreigners, lads? Because I know you guys have spoken about Santner, Rick Hilton. I know some of them are disagreeing with Akshay, saying, Akshay, you deluded. How's Rick Hilton going to open? Akshay will give his thoughts. Relax on that, boys. Santner, you guys have mentioned. Corbin Bosch is a name thrown around a lot in the chat right now, and I know he has a legal notice to serve for the PSL. But again, who are your four foreigners? Akshay, you first, and then Nix. I'm saying, forget the conditions. Who do you think they will just automatically blindly choose as their four foreigners?
Starting 12 for the CSK encounter. I'll just put it that way. First game, It'll be Jax. For me, it'll be Jax, Santner. I've got Mujib, and I'm forgetting whom. Bolt, of course. Yeah.
No Rickleton, no Bosch.
No.
Okay, Knicks. Agree, disagree.
No, I go with Rickleton. I think the upside is far more there, and they've always wanted a lefty righty combination right up top. So I think that is how they would go. I think on the rest too, I agree with Santner and Trent Bolt. No, not much option there. Mujib is someone that I'm not sure of. If this was Salah Ghazanfar, I would have been sold. Hands down, he will be the X factor that will win Mumbai the championship. But I don't know how much Mujib is scary. But if it is turning like I'm expecting Chepak to, then you would want to Mujib to play. On flat batting decks, I would possibly go and play Bevan Jacobs.
Okay, interesting. Good shout over there. Ayush Kumar saying, or rather asking, Hardik is not playing the first game, right? No, serving a suspension. So I think Surya Kumar might step in as a captain. Everyone would love to see Rohit Sharma captain that in Chepak, but wasn't to be. MI this season, there was someone else saying something else. But look, keep your comments come through. I don't want to like single out comments because then many people will feel left out in the chat. But let's just finish off this MI talking points, or rather this conversation about MI rather, with our predictions, and we've gone for some fun ones again. My hero is Ambani, obviously. Cash to my left, baby. Cash to my right, baby. I'm going to splash the cash and make you all win another IPL is what I feel. But look, that's me being a salty RCB fan. My zero is Will Jacks, again, being a salty RCB fan, because I don't think he will do as well as he did for RCB. I know that in the auction, when Jacks went to Mumbai, Akash Ambani got up, shook hands, all of that stuff for Will Jacks. But I think he's going to be my zero. And where will they finish? I think they'll finish 5th, 6th, or 7th. I don't see them making the top 4. They can't probably finish from 10th to the top 4. I know IPL is a smaller league than the other sporting leagues, but I still feel they'll finish 5th, 6th, or 7th. Let's move on to Nikhil's predictions, where he thinks Tilak Varma is a hero. Let's start there, Nix.
I think he'll have massive opportunity to really just showcase his potential. He's just gone from strength to strength, hasn't he? Scoring tons for India. And again, I think he'll play a very massive role because Rohit, Rickleton, whoever bats in that top 5, top 3, I think Tilak will probably slot in at 3 or 4 is what I feel. So he'll get the best of the time, and he's been in form as well. So no reason to not think he'll not do well. So Tilak Verma is my hero there. The zero is injuries because firstly you already don't know what is going on with just in terms of how many games he'll play, and the backups also. Reece Topley, you don't want him to just injure himself while trying to feed. That's a injury concern. Deepak Chair we know has had history with injuries. Trent Bolt is the one guy who will feel my iski साथ कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए. So I think injuries to key players has already hampered them because again Allah Ghazanfar, to me, I don't know, you can rate it differently. I just feel losing Allah Ghazanfar has taken that steam out because even with no Bumrah, I would have still felt a little bit confident. You can play that mystery card in the first few games, get those 2-3 wins early, and then really set the tone. So to me, and that is also why I feel they might just miss out on the playoffs, possibly 5th, 6th spot because injuries are Bumrah nahi khelta.
Yeah, I mean, fair points. I generally think, like you mentioned, even if they get the first couple of games won, they can, of course, go on to probably fight for top 4, but they never win their first game. That's the problem. But let's see if MI, of course, managed to turn that around. For just reconfirmation, what is your hero and zero for MI?
I, in fact, had a couple of quirky statements there. For hero, it was, I'm only believe on Dassi bhai. Bas, Siraj bhai ne bol diya aur main manta hu. Bas, no one else remotely close. Agar wo fit nahi hai to khatam. My zero is that dressing room. That's it. If things are still going to be as big an issue as it was last year, where there seemed to be a lot of groupism. Apparently, players weren't entirely open to listening to their captain, and all of that going around. If that continues to happen this year, I see no reason how they can function as a setup. So that is going to be the biggest challenge. If they're able to tick that box, nothing can stop them. At least nothing can stop that batting lineup. The bowling is still a huge question mark.
Okay, Mumbai Indians fans, let us know in the comments how you feel about your team, how we feel about our fucked up graphics, and lots more in the comments. And it's tongue-in-cheek. It's the IPL. You can banter us. We made a few mistakes. We're human after all. But we will, of course, sort it out going forward. Now, of course, 5 down and 5 more to go.
One last.
Let's talk.
One last
Go on.
thing, my prediction, of course, for finish of is
Oh,
wooden
yeah, of course.
contenders. That is same. That yeah,
So
I agree with.
where do you see them finish?
8, 9, 10. अरे वो bowling attack अगर बुमराह 5 गेम नहीं खेला, if so after the auction, what I told was they have at best 8 solid overs जहाँ पे they can hope कि no runs are scored, 4 of Bumrah and potentially 4 of Gazanfar if he comes good. Now दोनों नहीं है, तो फिर बचा क्या? तुम अगर सैंडनर, बोल्ट, चहर इन सब से एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि they contain runs, भाई नहीं होने वाला है. So I don't see that. Bowling attack is hard, like it's practically non-existent. So it's going to be very tricky without Bumrah.
Okay, interesting. And a fun fact to end the MI chat through Darshan Senthil saying last time MI won their first game of the season, it was versus CSK in Chepor.
Richard Levy,
Well,
15-22.